Anyways, Dom, we know Prey's coming out May 5th, 2017. What's your question regarding all of this?
When is Wolfenstein 2 coming out?
Oh, when is... Yeah, they teased it last year at E3. And I guess the easiest way to put this is, what does Prey's release date mean for Bethesda's 2017? Like,
Yeah, so what does this do for their roadmap, and what does the rest of the year look like, and then the coming years? Because Prey, like we mentioned earlier, May 5th, like, caught everyone off guard. I don't think anyone expected that. The assumption was, probably at E3 we'll hear about Wolfenstein 2 coming out in the fall. That seemed like the obvious answer. But now that they're dropping Prey in May, I don't even know anymore. I mean, they could still be doing Wolfenstein in the fall, but do they want to do that, or do they want to push that, or give it the extra time and go into early 2018 just to get out of what's going to be a really hectic fall for games? And then who knows? Maybe there's something else that we're not aware of, or the timing we're not aware of, something that maybe we're expecting way later, but that ends up coming out. Or again, maybe something completely off the rails, like another Fallout game. Maybe that Fallout Detroit we always talk about, but that would be a pretty much irrelevant game because if you've been to Detroit, anyway.
So it's interesting because Fallout 4 has us really speculating of like, what is Bethesda going to do, because they could announce something and then release it in the fall.
Yeah.
So here's what we have. Here's the rundown. These are all possibilities. We're playing with an open map. We're going to see what exactly we think. So first off, the Elder Scrolls series. We haven't seen one in a while. Todd Howard said it's far away. Don't believe what a developer says. You never know. They're just, he could be right, he could be wrong. They want to keep a lot of things close to the vest, right? This could possibly be an Elder Scrolls release this fall. More than likely not. I would say probably 95% unlikely, but it is a possibility.
They are supposed to be putting Skyrim on Switch for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. Also, last year during the Scorpio reveal trailer and the Bethesda conference, Todd Howard talked about bringing Fallout 4 to VR. So we'll see what happens there as well. That could possibly be the big thing for them this fall, Fallout VR. We have Fallout, which we talked about. You referenced the Fallout Detroit or Fallout New Orleans or this side of Fallout New Vegas-esque kind of game. That's also possible. Other things that they have, published in the past, we have Doom, which came out last year, so highly unlikely. Brink probably will never have a follow-up. Game did not sell well, did not perform well. Rage from id that came out.
Yeah.
A while back. I liked that game. A lot of people felt it wasn't up to the snuff that it was known for. I liked it. That is getting a sequel. Might get a remaster, something you never know. The Dishonored series, we got Dishonored 2. So that's Dishonored. There's not going to be any Dishonored this year, obviously.
Well, I would say we're almost certainly going to get some DLC for that, I would think.
Yeah, but this is kind of in the vein of like, what's their big fall release, right? I would hope they supported Dishonored with some DLC. But that's not going to be what brings them the big revenue in the fall.
Right.
The other two big things, you referenced them, the sequel to Wolfenstein: A New Order, and its DLC or standalone, Old Blood. We kind of got a teaser for that last year at Bethesda's conference, and this is probably the one that I would assume is most likely, just because they teased this last year, that Wolfenstein is in the works. I would be super stoked for that. Everyone loved the first Wolfenstein, or this Wolfenstein, the reimagining. The biggest problem people had was that intro. A lot of people thought they could have cut that out and the game would have been great. I think the game was great either way. I didn't think it was as bad as people complained that it was. And the other big likely is The Evil Within 2. It's sold better than a lot of people think. Tango has been up to something. We would presume it's The Evil Within 2. With the likes of Resident Evil 7 and Outlast 2 this year, horror's back in fad. People love playing horror games, and I think it'd be a great year to hit with Evil Within 2. Outlast 2 is assumed to be coming out somewhere in the mid-year. So if you have Resident Evil 7, then you have Outlast 2. Evil Within 2 would be great. I don't think there would be a problem releasing Wolfenstein and Evil Within in the same year. I think, unlike what EA thought with Titanfall and Battlefield, these are definitely different markets.
Yeah.
you have your FPS shooter and you have your horror game. Those are definitely two different audiences. Some crossover, but they're definitely two different audiences. I could definitely see them seeing, the new Wolfenstein, the new Evil Within, both in the same year, both in the same fall. And that would make sense that they don't want Prey there because, like, we're already pushing two games near each other. We can't have a third,
A new IP. Well, new IP. But...
Yeah. And it's... To me, I would love for it to be Wolfenstein and Evil Within, but Bethesda doesn't publish copious amounts of games in a given year, so I would assume it's not going to be any more than two. We already have Prey, we had Doom, and we had Dishonored 2 last year. We're going to have Prey. If I was a betting man, I would say Wolfenstein. What about you?
Yeah, it's Wolfenstein or Evil Within.
Yeah.
And I gotta say Wolfenstein just because it hasn't been confirmed, but did they confirm that the little clue in that other trailer was in fact a Wolfenstein game? I'm not sure, but
yeah, it was a Wolfenstein reference. Yes.
Yeah, so that's at least we know that that's almost certainly going to happen. At least Evil Within, we have no idea if they're even doing a sequel for that.
Yeah, that's true. But that studio must be working on something.
Yeah, they're doing something, but who knows? Maybe it's a Barbie game. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not. Probably not.
I think most people hope that it's Wolfenstein. It's just going to be tough, man, because like Wolfenstein's such a great game, but if that thing comes out this fall with the possibility of Destiny 2 and Battlefront 2 and the yearly Call of Duty game, it
would have to be like a
earlier.
September.
Yeah, early.
Maybe in August.
Yeah.
November is where you really want to steer clear of.
Yeah, and
as Call of Duty showed last year when everyone thought Infinite Warfare was going to be downhill, and then it ended up being the best-selling game of the year. So.
Yeah, but it is the people were right though that the numbers were on decline. It sold less, but the thing is that the bar that Call of Duty
compared to itself.
So high. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it seems like Bethesda does a good job of caring about their product. They released Doom in June last year because they knew that it would probably be difficult for it to compete with all those fall shooters. They're releasing Prey this year. So maybe Wolfenstein is the following May, June, and maybe this fall is something we don't know about, or an Evil Within 2. Maybe they understand that releasing their shooters in that May to July range is their best fit. So we could both be wrong on that, and it could be either an Evil Within 2, we get a teaser for Elder Scrolls. The interesting thing is, I always wondered why they didn't do the Fallout New Vegas thing with Elder Scrolls. That could be a possibility. Todd Howard has always said Elder Scrolls 6 is not in development. He's never really stated that an Elder Scrolls game isn't in development. There could be a spin-off. That's a huge world and plenty of lore to work with. So I hope it's Wolfenstein. I love Wolfenstein, but as we look at their recent track record with shooters, they don't really release them in the fall. So we'll see.
Man, I just really want that damn Elder Scrolls card game already.
Oh, Elder Scrolls Legends, yeah, it needs to come out of open beta. That's tough though when games are like in open beta and alpha and stuff like that, because you kind of lose track of when did it actually release, and then it's like, oh, it's released, so it's super weird.
It hasn't released until it's on my phone for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's only on open beta on PC. I think when it actually releases, it's releasing to everything simultaneously. So we'll see. Bethesda has a big year ahead of them. The thing with them is they've shown that they can announce a game and release it and not have to worry about the long press month after month after month. They're okay with announcing a game, releasing it 3 months later. So they're one of the most exciting companies because of that. So we'll see what they have planned. I'm excited for Prey. What does it hold for their fall? We speculated. We have no idea. We'll see.